With the rising number of COVID hospitalization, we thought it would be a great idea to cover a video about how to prepare financially and also what you can expect if you admit due to COVID. So if you want to know things like what kind of insurance can cover or where you can find an emergency fund for COVID, then stay tuned. Hey everyone, my name is Ivy.
And I'm Ying. Welcome back to the Financial Fitness channel. If you are new to our channel is all about money and self-development tips. So if you have not subscribed to our channel, remember to hit the subscribe button down below so you won't miss out on our latest video. So how much does COVID hospitalization actually cost? Most of the COVID positive patients nowadays are asymptomatic. And what does asymptomatic mean? Basically, it means that you don't have any severe symptoms, even if you have the COVID virus. These generally belong to stage 1 or stage 2 of the COVID virus. And the people who are diagnosed under these stages do not require any hospital treatment. But for people who are diagnosed with stage 3 COVID and above, generally would need medical attention at the hospital. So now the million ringgit question is, how much does it cost to treat COVID? I am sure some of you have heard that you can now visit the government and private hospitals for COVID treatments. Now, if you do end up in the government hospital, you won't have to worry too much about the bill, because it is mostly free of charge and fully funded by our government. The only fee that you may have to pay is the administration fee, which is less than 100 ringgit at most of the time. The private hospitals, however, would have to be paid out of your own pocket. And according to our sources, the initial deposit of admitting to a private hospital for COVID would roughly cost around 10,000 ringgit, and that is just the deposit. The final bill would still depend on the severity and the number of days at the hospital. So the longer you stay in there, the more you will have to pay. And from the hospital bill references we have seen so far, a 45 days stay at the hospital could roughly cost around 200 to 300,000, which unfortunately is not an amount that everyone could afford. So does insurance cover COVID? The short answer would be yes. Nowadays, you can find many insurance companies with special campaigns to cover COVID, but do take note that there are terms and conditions. So here are some of the types of coverages that we have seen in the market so far. But before I share them, remember this is only a reference. If you want to know whether your insurance covers for COVID, please do refer back to your insurance provider for further details. The first type would be COVID coverages up to a certain limit. Some insurance companies may offer to reimburse up to a certain limit, like you can only claim hospitalization bills up to 10,000 for stage 3, 20,000 for stage 4, and 30,000 for stage 5 COVID. And the company may also point out that the COVID campaign has a fund limit. So if the funds for the COVID campaign is say 10 million, once this 10 million is fully claimed, the campaign will immediately end. The second type of coverage is claimed as per individual medical card limit. For this type, policyholder can claim their COVID hospitalization according to their own medical benefit limit. For example, if your medical card has an annual limit of 100,000, that means you are eligible to claim up to 100,000 for your COVID hospitalization treatment. However, according to our sources, at this moment, all COVID treatments at private hospitals are on a pay and claim basis. This means you must first pay the bill with your own money, then reimburse it from your respective insurance company. And take note that not all medical cards have the same benefit. So if you are unsure or have forgotten the details in your policy, please do a policy review. And I know most of us don't do it, but it is very important to revisit your insurance policies at least once every 1 to 2 years, so that you can have peace of mind knowing that you are sufficiently covered.
So what if my insurance does not cover COVID or I do not have any insurance? First and foremost, if you do not have any insurance, please do consider having one. We have mentioned the importance of having an emergency fund multiple times on our channel. And insurance is by far the cheapest emergency fund you can ever have when you have a health crisis. For those of you who do have insurance, but your insurance does not cover COVID, or you simply cannot afford to pay and claim later, here are some financial tips of how you can prepare if you face COVID. Number 1, first get a high limit credit card. There is no more efficient tool in the market other than a credit card that could easily supply you with the money that you need to pay for your bills. And nowadays, it is so easy to apply for one. You can even conveniently apply at most banks' websites if they happen to have that function. If you do not have a credit card because you are unfamiliar with how it works, don't worry, because we have made a video about all you need to know about credit cards, and you can feel free to check it out later right over here. The second tip we have for you is relocate your investment portfolio. If you tend to invest most of your money in the share market, then be sure that you have sufficient funds allocated in cash accounts, where you can have easy and quick access. And when I say quick, I meant immediately or at least within the day. We personally recommend putting your COVID emergency fund in accounts like fixed deposit or high interest saving accounts. Please do not put your COVID emergency fund in places like unit trusts or robo-investors, because we have mentioned in our channel before, it still takes about 2 to 3 working days for you to withdraw your money from these platforms. The third tip I have for you is take cheaper precaution and know who to call. One of the cheapest ways to avoid paying high medical bills is to practice precaution. COVID or not, if you do not want to take the chance of having viruses entering your body, then practice good hygiene by wearing a mask, sanitizing your hands, and also get your vaccine. As we have mentioned at the beginning of this video, most COVID cases are at mild stages. So if you are lucky to be at stage 1 or 2, the best solution would be to quarantine yourself at home, if possible. However, if you do experience some discomfort and you're unsure whether you should visit the hospital, in that case, you may consider getting a doctor's consultation online through Doctor2U. Now, I'm not going to go into too many details about how it works because we're not sponsored, but if you'd like us to do a video about this, do let us know in the comments down below.
So that's it for today. If you liked the video, remember to give it a big thumbs up.
Remember to share this with your friends, and we will see you next time. Bye!